everyone doing out there? I just want to take the time to kind of explain what's going on. Today we're celebrating Indigenous Day out here in Phoenix, Arizona. My boy is out here, Drees is with us. He's performing tonight, and you know, today's actually a really important day because as this day proceeds, you know, different nations of everywhere, they're out there marching, they're out there praying, they're out there celebrating this Indigenous Day. And what it is it's connecting everyone's prayer together, and it's going to manifest into the air, you know, today. And that's why it's an important day today, you know, for us to acknowledge not only one another, but it's also important for us to acknowledge our cultures and what keeps us whole, what keeps us connected to the elements of life, you know, down to the trees, down to the animals, down to all the way down to the insects. You know, it's all a teaching process. And with everything that's going on, you know, in the world, we need to unite. And Indigenous Day came at a perfect time because the world needs healing, the people need healing. And as Indigenous people, we've always been, you know, for the people. And as a Dene, you know, that's what it means. Is Dene means the people. And I had a son, and I named him Nabahi, you know, which is protector of the people. And these things are so important because, you know, as Indigenous people of this land, we have to begin to protect it, and we have to begin to preserve it, and we have to begin to understand it, and we have to begin to heal it. And all these things, you know, they come about through the teachings of what's going on in the world. So if we don't open our eyes and really, you know, pay attention with our hearts and our prayers, then we're never going to understand what the earth is trying to tell us. And today, you know, is very important for a lot of people that don't understand. A lot of people just think it's like a replacement for Columbus Day. It's way beyond that. You know, today's a day of prayer, today's a day of celebration, today's a day where we all come together as one nation, you know, and live those words in reality, and not just, you know, a saying. You know, a lot of people say, I think the Pledge of Allegiance had that saying, one nation under God, you know, and they've never practiced it. And that's the thing is like we don't practice a system that's manipulating, that's intended to hurt people. When we say one nation, we really mean one nation. We mean one prayer. You know, everything that we have, everything that we've learned in life, we send our prayers with it, because that's the only way prayers will manifest and begin to heal not only the people but the earth, is when we put everything that we know into it. And our belief, you know, you have to, when you pray these prayers, you have to understand that there has to be no doubt, that there has to be, you know, when it manifests, you know, there's always a struggle that comes through. You know, there's obstacles that we have to go, that we have to endure. But at the same time, it's the prayer that connects us and keeps us connected to the earth. And so, you know, today, you know, take the time to pray for the people, the land. And the reason why I bring the people into it is because of the way this land was taken from us, you know, as Indigenous people. And today is a day of remembrance of that. Today is a day to take Christopher Columbus out of the history books by discovering us. You know, they feel like the system has feel like they've done us a favor, but in reality, they sped up our years on and life on this planet so quick because of greed, manipulation, lust, and, you know, the mentality to conquer. And these things they have been feeding to not only our children but the generations to come. And they're doing it through not only through education but entertainment, and all. They have every media outlet covered. So, you know, these pages, they start up and they ask for help, and it's to bring awareness, it's to bring understanding of what's really real and what's not just, you know, propaganda, or what, you know, it's a prayer that needs to be lived. You know, it can't just be words. It can't just be, you know, can you please do this for us? Because you have to have action behind the things that you mean. You have, when the time comes, you have to be able to stand up to the things that you have prayed for, you know. And we're praying for healing today, you know, we're praying for understanding. And with that, we have to carry ourselves in that light. We have to carry ourselves on that path. We have to walk that, you know, what they say, you know, you have to be about your walk. You have to, you know, you have to be about your talk. And that's the truth, you know, in this life right here, the connection that we have with Creator, you know, it links us to the stars. It links us to every other planet that's out there. It links us to the animals. It links us to understanding who we really are. And it's important, you know, it's very important that we understand what's going on. And with that today, you know, I'm gonna keep talking about it because I feel it's important that people understand what Indigenous Day means. It's not just to say, oh, you know, look at us, we've been hurt for so long that, you know, we're not asking for petty. We're not asking for you to pity us. We're not asking you to you know, finally acknowledge us. We know we're acknowledged. We know because we've been living this. You know, we've been through this hardship. We've been, you know, through the manipulations. We've been through the you know, the abuse that the government gives us, and we understand that, and therefore they've breaded us and they've abused us so much to where, you know, that doesn't hold anything over us no more. They used to be able to hold things over our heads, but now it's like we're in the generations where we want our lives back. We want our children to live actual freedom. We want our children to understand that, you know, that they have a huge part in history, and that they're not, you know, they're not just people that should be overlooked, because those are our children, you know, those are the youth. We all matter in this life, you know, and we have to begin to live that way. And today is that day. So, you know, if you take anything out of today, I would want you, you know, out of love and respect, I'm asking, you know, if we can pray together, today, you know, if you see the live feeds and you see, you know, people singing and dancing, that's a form of prayer. And you know, when they dance, they're asking, you know, for a lot of different things, because each prayer and each song, you know, they all go together, and there's a certain dance that goes to each song. And so, you know, throughout the day, we're going to continue to bless not only the earth, but, you know, what's going on with humanity on this earth, because we have a serious issue. You know, we have a serious issue of, you know, people pushing hate right now, you know. So there's that battle going on, and then there's you know, there's the continuing issue of the battle of treaties, you know, the battle of land. And the battle of land, the battle of treaties will never stop, because once the American government knew that they could break their treaties with our ancestors, they knew they were going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it again, you know, because they feel like they have strength, they have numbers, they have armed weapons, and they feel like they can intimidate us. But honestly, like, we've been going through so much that we've learned how to adapt. We haven't forgot about, you know, where the traditions come from. We haven't forgot about the ways of life. We haven't forgot to pray for what makes us who we are. And with that said, you know, this prayer that we pray today is all in one. And that's why it's important that you acknowledge Indigenous Day. Indigenous Day is not just for Native Americans. It's Indigenous people wherever you're at. If your livelihood, you know, depends on, you know, growing, you know, plants and growing vegetables and everything, Indigenous Days for you too, because you have to live off the land. You have to understand, you know, you have to respect the land. At some point, you're gonna have to acknowledge what's really real. And, you know, today, just take the time out to pray together with one another, and, you know, acknowledge what our ancestors have been through to preserve these prayers, to preserve these ways, to preserve these dances and these songs, because we had to endure boarding schools. There's so much that as a people we've endured, our ancestors had to endure. So with that said, just take today and acknowledge one another, greet one another with love and prayer, and let's begin to bring good medicine back into this world. So I'm gonna let y'all go now, so you have a beautiful day.